They said I was a predator, a 60-year-old man caught watching kids at the community pool. By morning, my name was poison, whispered behind fences, avoided at barbecues, erased from the world I helped build. But what no one knew was that I had proof. And when the truth came out during our neighborhood's summer block party, every single person who judged me wished they'd kept their mouths shut. If you've ever watched your name dragged through the mud for something you didn't do, if you know what it's like to be judged instead of known, then this story is for you. Hit that subscribe button, tap like, and drop a comment that says, "Truth always wins." Stick around because what I did next wasn't just revenge, it was redemption. My name's Tom Harlan, and for 20 years I thought I'd built a small slice of paradise in a place called Maple Ridge. Picture-perfect suburbia. White picket fences, cul-de-sacs that smelled like fresh-cut grass and barbecue smoke, and neighbors who smiled a little too long when you waved. We had an HOA so tight it could probably fine you for breathing too loudly. But I didn't mind. I was part of the community. One of the old-timers. I'd spent 35 years as a fire captain before I retired. Lost my wife Marie to cancer 5 years back. After that, the neighborhood became my family. I fixed fences, grilled burgers, taught kids how to tie knots or start a fire safely during camping week. Everyone called me Mr. Harlan. Some even called me Uncle Tom. But all it takes is one rumor, one whisper, and suddenly 20 years of goodwill can turn into a death sentence. It started when Jeff and Melissa Crane moved in across the street. He worked in consulting, which in suburban terms means no one actually knew what he did. Melissa was the type who smiled with her teeth, but never her eyes. Always perfectly styled, always networking. Within weeks, she joined every HOA committee and somehow crowned herself queen of the block. Clipboard in hand, voice like a sermon. At first, I found her amusing. She'd stroll over to my porch, tap her pen on the clipboard, and say things like, "Tom, your fence slats are a 1/4 inch too wide for the HOA standard. You might want to fix that before next inspection." I'd just laugh. "Melissa," I'd say, "that fence has been there since Bush was in office. I think it's survived enough inspections to earn a little respect." She didn't like that. People like Melissa never do, the ones who mistake control for contribution. Still, I tried to stay cordial. Offered to help her and Jeff move furniture once. Brought cookies over. She didn't even open the Tupperware, just said, "Oh, we don't eat processed sugar, but thanks." Right then, I knew the Cranes weren't neighbors. They were an invasion. Summer came fast that year. One of those blistering July afternoons when the air itself feels heavy. Our community pool was packed. Kids doing cannonballs, moms chatting with iced coffees, dads pretending to watch but really scrolling on their phones. I was sitting in my usual spot near the deep end, wide brim hat, book in one hand, lemonade in the other. Some of the swim team kids were practicing starts, splashing like crazy. I'd been helping coach them unofficially for years, showing them how to kick off better, time their breaths. I remember one kid, little Danny, climbing out of the pool and saying, "Mr. Harlan, you used to run into burning buildings, right? That's way cooler than a cannonball." Everyone laughed, including me. Their parents were just a few feet away. Everything was perfectly normal. I didn't even have my phone out. It stayed in my pocket the whole time. I never touched it, never pointed it at anyone. I was too busy laughing with the kids. But that was the day Melissa Crane decided to destroy me. A few days later, I walked into the grocery store. I noticed something strange, people who'd always smiled, now turning away. A couple I'd known for 10 years, the Jennings, spotted me in the frozen food aisle and literally turned their cart around. didn't even look at me. Then came the whispers. 2 teenage girls near the bakery. One of them said, "That's him." Another whispered, "Mom said he's disgusting." By the time I got home, the pit in my stomach had become a full-blown storm. That night, my neighbor Rick, one of the few decent guys left on the block, knocked on my door. His face was pale, eyes shifting like he didn't even want to be there. "Tom," he said quietly, "you need to know what people are saying?" My throat tightened. "What are they saying, Rick?" He hesitated, then sighed. "Melissa's been telling people she caught you taking pictures of the kids at the pool." I laughed at first, a stupid, nervous laugh. "That's ridiculous. My phone stayed in my pocket the whole time." But Rick didn't laugh back. "She says she saw you. Says there are witnesses. She told the HOA she's got proof." My heart dropped so fast I thought I'd black out. In Maple Ridge, rumors move faster than wildfires, and I should know. I fought plenty of those in my career. By the end of the week, I was radioactive. Parents started crossing the street when I was out walking. The HOA sent me a temporary suspension notice from all community events, citing pending review of a behavioral complaint. Someone spray-painted creep on my mailbox. Everywhere I went, I could feel it. The eyes, the disgust, the betrayal. I stopped going to the pool, stopped sitting on my porch, stopped talking. The nights were the worst. I'd sit on that porch in the dark, listening to sprinklers click on across the street, watching porch lights flicker on and off like tiny, distant worlds. Worlds I no longer belonged to. I tried to appeal to the HOA, wrote letters, sent emails, even called. They said it would violate privacy policy to discuss the complaint. No one wanted to hear the truth. They just wanted a villain. And maybe I started to believe I was one. Because when enough people hate you, when enough doors close, it messes with your mind. You start second-guessing your own memories. Was my phone out? Did someone misunderstand something? I went through that day 100 times in my head, like a detective going over a crime scene. Every word, every laugh, every second. And no matter how I spun it, I knew I hadn't done anything wrong. But knowing that didn't matter. Not in a place like Maple Ridge. Then one night, as I was boxing up some old photos, planning to move away, I saw a community flyer pinned to my fridge. Pool safety reminder, security cameras active 24/7. Security cameras. And just like that, I had a spark of hope. The system had been installed last summer after a break-in scare. The HOA managed it, but I remembered who actually set it up. Daryl Benson, a maintenance contractor I had personally recommended when he was looking for work. Good kid, hard worker. I'd helped him get back on his feet after a rough patch. I called him the next morning. "Daryl," I said, voice shaking, "you remember those pool cameras you installed?" "Sure," he said. "Why?" "I need to see the footage from July 18th, around 3 p.m. He went quiet for a moment. "Tom, I can't just share footage. HOA policy." "Daryl, please," I said. "They're saying I did something I didn't. My life's falling apart here." There was a long silence on the line, then a sigh. "Come by tomorrow morning. I'll see what I can do." I didn't sleep that night. My hands kept shaking. My heart wouldn't slow down. At dawn, I drove over to Daryl's maintenance office. He had a small monitor set up, surrounded by tools and paint cans. When he clicked into the server, I felt my chest tighten. He scrubbed through the footage. 3 p.m., kids swimming, moms chatting, sun blazing. 3:10, me, sitting on the chair, phone clearly in my pocket. Then something else. Melissa, standing near the fence, pointing her phone directly at me. Daryl frowned. "Tom, she's filming you." He clicked again. A different angle, showing her walking up to a group of mothers, showing them something on her phone. Their faces twisted. One mom gasped. Another pulled her kid out of the pool. It was her. She was the one who started it all. "Print them," I said. My voice didn't even sound like mine. Every frame with timestamps. He looked at me for a moment, then nodded slowly. As the printer whirred, I stared at those images. Me sitting there, calm and harmless, while she turned me into a monster. That's when I realized I wasn't going to run. Not anymore. I could have sent those photos straight to the HOA, let them quietly review the evidence, issue a bland apology, and sweep the whole mess under the rug. But no, Melissa Crane hadn't destroyed me in silence. She'd done it publicly. So I wasn't going to let her get buried in whispers. I wanted the truth to roar, right where the lies were born. And in Maple Ridge, there was no stage bigger than the summer block party. Every July, the whole neighborhood gathered on the cul-de-sac, food trucks, bounce houses, karaoke, and that ever-present HO, a microphone, where Melissa played Queen of the Suburbs. It was her favorite day of the year, her moment, so I decided it was going to be mine too. The days leading up to the event were long, quiet, and heavy. People still avoided me, still crossed the street, still whispered when I went for the mail. But inside I'd gone cold. Calm in the way only someone who's seen too many fires can be. When you've faced real flames, rumor smoke doesn't scare you anymore. I'd sit on my porch each night, that manila envelope of printed photos resting on the table beside me. Proof. Hard, undeniable truth. Sometimes I'd catch myself wondering if I was going too far. Part of me still wanted to believe that maybe Melissa had just misunderstood. Maybe she'd seen a reflection or a trick of the light. But then I'd remember her smug look that day at the pool. How she'd whispered to others, turned them against me like it was a sport. No, this wasn't misunderstanding. This was malice. And I wasn't the first victim. Rick told me later she'd driven out another neighbor the year before, a single mom who'd failed to keep her lawn compliant. Melissa had a pattern. Find someone vulnerable, make them an example, and bask in the control. That realization erased any hesitation I had left. I'd spent my life protecting people. Now it was time to protect myself and everyone else she might hurt. July 27th. The day the neighborhood turned into a Norman Rockwell painting, on the surface, anyway. Colorful tents lined the street. Kids ran with face paint and balloon swords. The smell of barbecue drifted through the air, carried by the hum of chatter and pop music from rented speakers. I arrived late, deliberately. Everyone noticed the second I did. Conversations died. Plastic cups paused mid-sip. All those perfect little smiles faded into tight, uneasy lines. I walked slow, wearing my old fire department jacket. Not as armor, but as a reminder, I'd faced worse than gossip. Melissa was up near the main tent, standing beside Jeff, wearing a coral sundress and a headset mic. She was glowing, that smug, polished glow of someone who believes the world bends to her will. When she saw me, her face twitched. A microsecond of fear before she plastered on that Stepford smile. "Oh, Tom," she said into the mic, voice dripping honey. "Glad you could join us today. How unexpected." People chuckled nervously. I smiled back. "Wouldn't miss it, Melissa." Then I found a spot near the back, waiting. For an hour I just watched her strut around, handing out raffle tickets, thanking our wonderful volunteers and patting herself on the back for how safe and wholesome Maple Ridge had become. Every word she spoke was gasoline on the fire inside me. Finally, as she took the mic for her closing remarks, that smug monologue she gave every year, I stepped forward. She was mid-sentence, saying something about community integrity and family values, when she spotted me moving toward the stage. Her words faltered. Tom, now's maybe not the..." I raised a hand, calm, controlled. Actually, Melissa, this is exactly the right time. The crowd shifted, a ripple of murmurs spreading. I could feel hundreds of eyes on me, a weight I hadn't felt since my firehouse days, when every decision meant life or death. Only this time it wasn't fire I was facing, it was judgment. I stepped up to the small platform, manila envelope in hand. Melissa's smile was brittle now, her fingers white around the mic. "Tom," she said, voice tight, "this really isn't appropriate." "Neither," I said softly, "was lying about me." Gasps. Someone near the front dropped their drink. I looked out over the sea of faces, neighbors who'd once trusted me, now watching with the same fascination they'd once reserved for the rumor. "You all heard the story," I said. "That I took pictures of your kids at the pool. That I was some kind of monster hiding in plain sight." No one moved. Some looked down. Others looked straight at me, guilt flickering in their eyes. I tried to defend myself, I continued. "I begged for a chance to explain, but you didn't want the truth. You wanted a villain." I held up the envelope. "So I brought the truth to you." I pulled out the first photo, clear as day. Me, sitting in my chair, phone in my pocket, time-stamped, verified. And behind me, Melissa, holding her own phone, camera pointed straight at me. A hush fell. "This," I said, "is the exact moment she claims she caught me. Only problem is, I wasn't the one taking pictures." Gasps spread like ripples in water. Someone muttered, "Oh my God." I flipped to the next still. Melissa showing her phone to a group of mothers, their faces twisting in shock. "And this," I said, voice steady, "is when she spread it. When she turned her lie into my sentence." Melissa's mouth opened, but no sound came out. Jeff stepped back, whispering, "Melissa, what did you do?" I turned to her. "You said you cared about safety, about family. But what you really cared about was control. And you nearly destroyed me for it." Then I handed the photos to Rick, who'd come to the front. He stared at them, lips tight, then looked at her. "Melissa, is this true?" Her face drained of color. The microphone slipped from her hand, screeching as it hit the stage. Silence? Then the whispers began again, but this time they weren't about me. Melissa tried to recover. She grabbed the mic, stammering, This is taken out of context. You all don't understand, but no one was listening." Mothers who'd once pulled their kids away from me now stood glaring at her, whispering furiously to each other. Someone yelled, "Apologize." Another shouted, "You should be ashamed." Jeff walked off the stage, red-faced, leaving her alone. I didn't need to say another word. I just stepped down, nodded to Rick, and walked away. Behind me, her voice cracked through the speaker. "Please, everyone, Then a thud as someone cut the power to her mic. The truth didn't need volume. It had witnesses now. That night, I sat on my porch again, the same chair where I'd once hidden from the world. But this time, people waved as they passed. Rick stopped by with a six-pack, sat down beside me without saying a word. After a long silence, he finally said, "You handled that better than anyone I've ever seen." I smiled. "When you fought real fires, you learn not to throw gasoline." We laughed quietly. The first real laugh I'd had in months. By Monday, Melissa had resigned from the HOA for personal reasons. 2 months later, the Crane's house went up for sale. No one threw them a going-away party. No casseroles, no cards. Just silence, the kind that weighs more than words ever could. As for me, it took time. Trust doesn't grow back overnight. But slowly, things changed. People started stopping by again. A couple of the moms apologized, awkwardly, sincerely. Kids waved when they passed. I rebuilt my fence, even fixed the color like Melissa used to nag me about, but this time It was my choice. The sound of my hammer echoing down the street felt like reclaiming something. Piece by piece, I got my peace back. You know, they say reputation is what others think of you, but character's who you are when the world turns its back. I learned that truth doesn't shout, it waits, and when it finally speaks, it's louder than any lie. If you've ever had someone lie about you, if you've ever fought back with truth instead of rage, drop a justice served in the comments. Hit like if you believe truth always finds its voice, and subscribe for more stories where revenge isn't just payback, it's peace restored. Because sometimes redemption is the sweetest revenge.